What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Nerd Media. And Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Episode 7 has officially dropped on Disney Plus, and we have to talk about it because some crazy stuff went down in this episode. So, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing it for you guys, diving into the things that I did like, some of the things that I may not be a fan of, because there were a few of those things that happened in this episode, and just diving into my overall general thoughts on where I think the rest of the series could go, because we only have 2 weeks left of this series, which is already insane because it feels like it just started like a week ago. But here we are. So, with all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on Daredevil Season 1, Episode 7, and let's dive right into the video. So, just like the last episode we got, this episode was heavily focused on Muse as a character and Matt being back in the Daredevil outfit and going out to try and hunt him down. And we really felt that, and we really dived into that because the aftermath of the events that took place in last episode come full circle, and now Kingpin knows that Matt is back as Daredevil, and he is trying to use his authority that he has to undermine Daredevil and bring that ultimate conclusion to those two fighting it out, because that's what he really wants. So he's trying to do the smart thing and just make Daredevil just his issue and then try to undermine him, which I think is really cool. And I really liked him seeing the fact that he is back and that he doesn't really know how to feel about all of this. But this episode was the continuation of the Muse story and also the conclusion. And I gotta say, I did enjoy the Muse stuff this season. It was the stuff I was looking forward to the most, and I actually really liked some of the stuff that we got with that character this episode. But I'm very conflicted with how that character went out and how quickly he died. I mean, do we even know for sure if he died? Because I know in the comics he's an Inhuman, but I don't know if that's what they're going for. I think for the what this show has presented to us is that I feel like he is dead, but we're not. We're gonna have to wait and see. Marvel can bring anybody back, but I think he is dead. And with the idea that he is, and just assuming that for now, because as of now he is, it's kind of just disappointing to me because I feel like not only was the Muse stuff rushed for these 2 episodes, I feel like just the overall like arcs for some of the characters and some of the storylines that we had presented to us in this episode were very rushed. So I do think this is probably going to be my least favorite of the series by far. I mean, it has some awesome action, especially with the fight sequence in the therapy room with Matt and Muse. I think that was great, and the symbolism of having Muse like have his own artwork painted behind him with his blood is really cool, and I really dug that. But I just feel like all the Muse stuff was really rushed, and I feel like it was really built up to be something very unique and big for this series, and it really was only like 2 episodes. So that's a little bit disappointing, especially coming from somebody who was excited to see him. And I feel like the character arcs with, having Matt's girlfriend Heather trying to figure out what is wrong with him and what is up with him, and then her seeing Daredevil, and then having her being the therapist for Muse, I thought all that stuff with her was very rushed in this episode, and I feel like we didn't get a time to actually feel like what she was thinking and everything. And the fact that we only got one therapy session with Muse and her is kind of strange because it was teased back in like episode 2, but I feel like we should have gotten a little bit more for the build up of what we got in this episode. But like I said earlier, the action is great, and I'm still really digging this show a lot, and I think that it's very fun, and I still think it's probably one of Marvel's best things since Endgame, maybe even the best, and it's definitely in the argument for the best. And this episode, very action packed, but it was overall to me just like very rushed, and I mean, it was still a good, enjoyable time, and I really did have fun with it, but just, I don't know, man. We did get to see the kind of conclusion of all the parallels we've been getting of Fisk and Matt, which I think those have been some of the highlights of the series, and we kind of got to see that all come together in this episode with Fisk realizing that Matt is back as Daredevil, so they now know what is up with each other, and they know what each one of them are doing now, so the parallels probably won't hit the same as they did in earlier episodes if they do more of those. I feel like they probably won't because I feel like it kind of came to a good conclusion with Fisk finding out that Matt is back, so it would make sense that those would stop. But those were some highlights of the series, and I really liked how that kind of came together in the beginning of the episode when he found out that Daredevil was back. And I did get a really good shock moment out of me when I watched this episode when I saw Matt stab Muse, because that was very crazy, and I did not expect that at all. I mean, still, you guys know my thoughts about the Muse stuff. I just shared it, but still disappointing. But that was a very shocking moment. But I think probably the most interesting thing that I found about this episode was the fact that we see Vanessa send out a hit to kill Fisk, and obviously that doesn't go as planned. And I feel like I don't really know what's up with that. Like, there's some sort of mystery going on with her and Fisk, and it's really strange to unravel that because you don't really know what exactly their motives are. And I gotta say, after that ending of this episode with that, I am very, very much excited to see where that's gonna go because it's very interesting, and I'm very happy that they're somehow finding a way to make those two interesting because I will say that was probably one of the weaker points of the original Netflix series and of this series a little bit too. It's just their relationship. But that stuff is really interesting, and I really can't wait to see where they're gonna go with that. Also got the anti-vigilante task force having a big role in this episode, which I think they are probably going to be the main like antagonists for the rest of the series now, besides maybe Bullseye returning or Kingpin. I think they're gonna be the next big one, which I feel like if they were gonna do this show right, which they have been so far, but if they were going to do it in a great way and they want to fit in everything instead of pushing it all in together, I think they should have handled the vigilante task force at the beginning of the series, and then the second half, which would have started around this time, maybe last week, be focused about Muse. And I think that would have been way, way better. But I don't know, man. All this stuff was so rushed, and I really didn't get time to be like, it's really cool that we got the vigilante task force there. But they're probably going to be a main focus for the rest of the series. And I like the ending with Fisk doing the interview and then they hold up the Muse mask. I thought that was really cool. So that was fun. It's just really crazy to me that we only have a few weeks left of the series. We have like 2 weeks left. So that's kind of insane to think about because it really feels like it just started last week. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what you thought of Daredevil episode 7 down below in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? It's probably if not my least favorite of the series. I mean, this is still, I'm having a fun time with this show, but I just don't know. This wasn't my favorite. But with all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video.